up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kame from the Toku and Animation News Network, and today I've got a look at another IDW Godzilla comic. This time for the rival series, Mothra versus Hedorah. Now this is an interesting pairing. Mothra typically represents life itself, while Hedorah symbolizes the destruction of life by pollution. It's such an ingenious notion that I'm surprised it took this long for someone to pit these two monsters against each other. Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to handle what these two monsters characterize? Watch to find out. The characters and plot. We have an interesting story revolving around life and death. On one side, we have a story centered around twin girls, Aurora and Astrid, who belong to a village in the Arctic Circle that holds a festival to Mothra every year. Their grandma informs them that she has decided to stop taking her medicine, as she has accepted her fate whenever it may occur. The opposite story revolves around an enraged billionaire named Lawrence Lazek, who is dying by an incurable disease, refusing to accept the facts. His company discovers a living organism within a meteorite, and he uses it as a cure. You can pretty much guess how these events are going to play out. With Hedorah on a murder spree, our twins run back to the palace they grew up in before their parents died and start to sing an old song that ends up summoning Mothra. In the end, I enjoyed this issue more so than the Mothra vs. Mothra one, but there are some pacing issues you have to ignore in order for everything to work. Aurora had taken up a job at Lazek's facility, however, there's really no point to this subplot. She's on her first day when all hell breaks loose, rendering her being there moot. If she had played some part in Hedorah's awakening, it would have made more sense. As is, I just don't see the value of it. Then there was the castle the duo grew up in, which just comes out of left field. Add on top that they have always known about a song to summon Mothra. It's all very convenient and happens way too fast. Finally, because they were twins, you kinda knew how the narrative was going to work. The monsters. Title says all. There's Mothra and there's Hedorah. Mothra is pretty much what you expect. She's there to save the day and that's it. I did like how Hedorah becomes the threat it does thanks to Lazek injecting himself with the creature to cure his disease. That was a nice little twist. We do get to see Hedorah's flying form on top of his standard one. The artwork. Joshua Cornillon handled the art of this book. While I'm not a huge fan of the character designs, Mothra's design is SD-like, and some panels can look a bit wonky. What is up with the faces on Lazek and his doctor? The art is pretty solid as a whole. The shading used for Hedorah is spectacular. I really loved how Hedorah's eyes glowed vibrant against the blues and blacks of this panel. I also like this piece of Mothra being almost shrouded in darkness thanks to her flying across the moon, while this panel was very electrifying. Speaking of electricity, another favorite of mine was when Mothra and Hedorah were struck by lightning in the sky, and all we see is their silhouettes in white against the dark background. Overall, I really enjoyed this issue, even if you do have to ignore the plot conveniences that occur in order for the sisters to be successful in the end. The opposing narrative between life and death was very interesting and added an extra layer of storytelling not present in other issues. Definitely check this one out. Until next time, bye! Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to... Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to... Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to handle what these two monsters... Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to... Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to... Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to handle these two... Why can I not do this? Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to... Does Josh Trujillo have what it takes to...